So, Spider-Man 2. It's how do I put this?
Oh boy, yeah.
So what is going on, people? It's your host again, back here with a review of Spider-Man 2, if you couldn't tell by the intro. And as everybody is aware of it, well, at least all Marvel fans, is that everybody considers Spider-Man 2 the best Spider-Man movie. I mean, my friends agree with it. Well, some of my friends agree that it's the best Spider-Man movie. That Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man actor, except that, in my opinion, he's not. It's Tom Holland, and everybody's saying like this is the big changer in superhero movies. But I'm here to talk about why I disagree with all of these because, like, no offense if you like this movie, no offense if you like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, because I respect all of y'all's opinion. I'm not here to criticize you or anything. I'm just here to tell my own opinion because, well, this is YouTube and you can tell your own opinions. I mean, look at YouTubers like Nostalgia Critic and all those, movie reviewers that tell their own opinions about movies, so why shouldn't I? And let's just say I barely have anything positive to tell about this movie because I really don't think it's the masterpiece that everybody says. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. It's, well, at least in the trilogy alone, it's the best one out of the trilogy. Probably the most, probably one. Well, I don't know. It's either Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 that is, the most enjoyable of the out of the trilogy, at least, the Sam Raimi trilogy. And this one does have some good emotional moments, some good, well, kind of good character dialogue, because we still have that corny dialogue. Well, some of the corny dialogue from the first movie, and but they did fix some things from the past movies, and we get and how do I put this? An amazing performance by Alfred Molina as Doctor Octopus. But I'll get into that in a little bit. J.K. Simmons as Jane Jonah Jameson is still the best character in the trilogy. J.K. Simmons is still the best character in the trilogy in Spider-Man 3, but we'll get into that in the next review because, oh boy, guys, you're gonna need your handicaps for the Spider-Man 3 review, because we all know, we let's try to not, think. I'm trying, like, I'm literally trying to not, go ahead and put that, emo Peter meme. Well, it's not exactly me, but it's meme worthy that Dancy for Spider-Man 3. But we'll get into that in the next review because right now we're focusing on Spider-Man 2. And so, what do I think of Spider-Man 2? The intro is still the same, except, it flashes back through the first movie about, in case you fell asleep during the first movie, kind of like what they did with Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, which is one of my friend Matthew's favorite movies. Well, at least the first movie. He didn't really like the second movie because who really liked the second movie because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Nicolas Cage is a pretty good actor, but let's just say he won't be playing Ghost Rider for the next, for the MCU. I mean, who knows? Maybe Marvel will sign him up for Ghost Rider again because they signed him up for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse to play Spider-Man Noir. So why couldn't they, sign him up for Ghost Rider once again? But anyways, enough of that. Let's get into the actual review. So the movie starts off with Peter and his delivery job, and in the beginning he at least tries to do his best to deliver the pizzas, and we get that awesome meme where that guy says, "Holy crap, that guy stole that guy's pizzas." Well, yeah, you get what I mean. That scene, and he rescues some children in the scene, and also yada yada yada. Gets he does that meme where the pizza time meme, but then he discovers that he's late and that the 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 employee and the hotel won't pay for the pizzas, so then he has to just leave the pizzas for free, and he just goes to the elevator and tells his boss the bad news that he wasn't able to deliver the pizzas, and that gets him fired. And coincidentally, it's Peter's birthday, so he comes home and sees that Aunt May and Harry prepared, and also Mary Jane, they prepared him a surprise party, and Harry just talks about how he hates Spider-Man. He tells Peter if he knew Spider-Man's identity, would he tell him? Peter kind of doesn't say anything, and Harry just leaves him. Yeah, he just ditches his best friend. And also, kind of a little plot hole in the movie is that what happened between Harry and I mean I understand that Peter tries to give Harry some space after the events of the first movie, but you know in the first movie Peter moved into Harry's apartment, and we just got to know what happened in why he moved out of Harry's apartment. But we got, the Spider-Man, the new animated series, the one that came in 2003, to explain that maybe. I mean, I haven't watched the entire animated series, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a tie-in series into the tie-in cartoon that was made in 2003 to go with the Sam Raimi the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. But it doesn't count, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, because it has some character deaths of some important characters in the trilogy. But today we're going to discuss about Spider-Man 2, not the new animated series. And so after the party, Mary Jane invites Peter to, her play or opera, whatever. And Peter arrives, tries to go to the, to Mary Jane's opera or whatever, but he encounters some crime that needs to be taken care of, and he obviously takes care of it, but sadly arrives late. And we get another cameo by Bruce Campbell, which I forgot to mention in the second movie, but well, not the second movie, the first movie, because there was a cameo by Bruce Campbell, as the announcer in the wrestling arena that Peter went to to get the money that he wanted to buy a car to impress Mary Jane. And so the usher or whatever job Bruce Campbell has in the movie, he tells Peter that he can't go into the theater when everybody is in the theater technically. And so Mary Jane gets mad at him for some reason because he arrived late, and she starts going out with J. Jonah Jameson's son, John Jameson. And let's just say she's the only reason she's dating John is because she's angry at Peter. And we get to the main villain himself, Otto Octavius. Well, before he's the villain, who Peter is writing a paper about in his school, and most specifically Dr. Connor's class. And so we get that scene. Where Doc Ock's origin, about how he becomes, Doc Ock and all that stuff. And he kind of has like an accident trying to try out his new invention alongside with his arms, but it doesn't go well, and the harness gets attached to his body, and we get where he yells no with the arms, which kind of does sound kind of like the Revenge of the Sith a little bit, and even the scene resembles the Revenge of the Sith. But anyways, Doc Ock goes out. He kind of crashes. He kind of causes a car crash in the middle of it, and he goes to a warehouse where he has like a conversation with his arms, and all of a sudden he's a villain out of the sun, because really there's no motivation to make him, well, other than his wife died and his experiment went wrong. But why would he even go back to building his experiment if it went wrong? I mean, it didn't just it didn't just burn his laboratory and injure some people, but it also managed to he managed to kill his wife in the middle of it. I mean, he just says, "Well, I gotta finish my science experiment. Why not? Why not finish it what I started?" But I mean, seriously, this is the kind of motivation that is in the so-called best Spider-Man movie. Don't get me wrong, Alfred Molina does an incredible job as Doc Ock, but seriously, what kind of motivation is there? I mean, what motivates him to become a villain in this movie? I mean, seriously. What is his motivation? What is his motivation?
I'm gonna blow up the city.
But anyway, so Peter manages to save the day. He manages to get back with Mary Jane in the end of the movie, yada yada, and well, the movie ends, with Doc Ock dying, all that stuff happening. It ends with a, bittersweet ending. And overall, what did I think of the movie? I mean, I don't think it was terrible. I mean, that trophy goes to the next movie, which we're gonna talk about in the next review. But I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's not bad by any means. So I'm kind of iffy about this movie. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I mean, it is pretty enjoyable. Anybody can get some enjoyment out of this movie, and I actually recommend it if you're a fan of the Sam Raimi movies, or if any movie, like a typical movie, typical movie enjoyer. And so yeah, that's what I think of the movie, and that's pretty much it for the review. I mean, seriously, I had much fun, putting those memes, for you guys. And you might see some of this, for the next few reviews, and some reviews in the future. I mean, tell me in the comments below if you want, more, kind of, if you want me to add more memes into my videos. So that's it for the video. Web up the like button, and I'll see you later, Webbits.